Welcome back to the evening show. Now, it being a Thursday, Sinead Hughes joins me once again with a roundup of what's been happening in the world of sport. Sinead, lovely to have you with us.
Thanks, Olive.
Now, it was a cracking win last weekend for Leinster.
Yeah, it was a fantastic replay of last year's Heineken Cup semi-final against Toulouse. Only this time they got to play at home in the pulsating Aviva Stadium in front of 50,000 spectators, and they really played their part in the win.
And they didn't get off to the best of starts.
No, they were quite unsettled initially. They lost their first two line-outs, and then they also gave away that penalty, which came off the upright at such an awkward angle, which led to the try then, and it was really, really unfortunate. But they stayed really composed, which is a credit to Joe Smith and the work he's done with them this year. He's really brought them to the next level, and they've been just so clinical the way they go about their business this year.
It was real edge of the seat stuff. And did the league change like 4 times?
Yeah. I mean, when you've got two magnificent teams like that, it's going to be tit for tat all the way. And Joe was saying that in a game like that, it really comes down to the little things, like that burst up the flank that Cian Healy made, which led to the blood sub. And then Heinke van der Merwe came on and he spiked Toulouse's scrum, which was their strong point, which then induced the penalty, which brought it just within one. All those little things made the difference in the day.
Now, I was not happy to see Brian O'Driscoll being sent to the sin bin.
I know, he's normally so disciplined, but that's his second yellow card within a month. But he couldn't complain. He was well deserved, so, he just needs to be careful.
Oh. OK, well, fair enough. Jamie Heaslip, man of the match. Did you agree?
Yeah, I have to say there's lots of names in the hats now, but I did think he deserved it for his little burrowed try that he got, and that great steal close to the line that really saved us another try. And I'm delighted to see him win because he's been consistently excellent over the past while, and he doesn't usually get the Man of the Match award, so yeah, I'm happy for him.
Good stuff. Now, the Heineken Cup final is to look forward to. Who are they playing?
Yeah, they're playing against the Northampton Saints in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff on the 21st of May. Leinster are definitely going to be hot favourites going into it. But the little secret weapon that Northampton have is their scrum. The first row are savage, and they got 3 tasty backs as well. But I definitely can see Leinster picking holes in them, and I hope they come out the winners in the end.
Well, fingers crossed. I'd love to see them take home the trophy. Now, I know that Dublin have been doing really well in the hurling as well, so let's move on to the GAA.
Yeah, they have. They got to the final, the Division 1 League final this year for the first time in 65 years. And it was the first time they've won it in 72 years. So it was a memorable weekend for them last weekend.
And they won it fairly convincingly as well, which is always great to do it that way.
Everyone was extremely surprised because they were playing against Kilkenny, the home of hurling, and they bet them by 12 points. It was 22-17, so yeah, it was very convincing.
Now, what was all that commotion about at the half-time match?
Yeah, it was very strange. Dublin were attacking, and then the referee blew the whistle while they were attacking. Normally he waits for the sliotar to go out, but during play he stopped, and just after that Conor McCormack scored a brilliant goal, which then wasn't allowed. And Brian Cody, the Kilkenny coach, said that was ridiculous. He should never have stopped the play or stopped the game during play, and he would have had no problems if the goal was allowed. But then after that, Conor McCormack was running out and he bumped against the Kilkenny defender, and he just turned around and whacked him with the sliotar. Or with the hurl, yeah. So he got sent off. It just showed that they're really unsettled and not happy.
Now, Kilkenny seemed to be kind of taking a bit of a fall, because I know Kilkenny was the 3 in a row, the 4 in a row, and they seem to kind of be, things are kind of turning around for them a little bit.
I would say that they're definitely not up there like they were, but it's a bit more of a levelling out. Dublin have definitely risen massively, and I wouldn't be writing Kilkenny off though, because they were missing 6 of their normal 15 players, so definitely Dublin deserved to win in the day, but I wouldn't rule Kilkenny out of the championship just yet.
Now, you were out and about again this week. Where were you this week?
Yeah, that's right. I was over at the National Aquatic Centre in Blanchardstown to check out a different sport this time, diving, because not a lot of people know that we even have divers in the country. And we actually have some of the top divers in Europe. So I went to go out and just learn a little bit more about it.
Well, let's see how you got on.
I'm back here at the National Aquatic Centre in Blanchardstown. But today we're going to take a look behind the scenes at a completely different sport, diving. Martin, you're the chairperson of the Dublin Diving Club. When did that start up?
Well, the club is in existence for about 7 years, but in the last 2 to 3 years, we really have developed and grown hugely. We've had a lot of very successful marketing and promotional runs within schools and other, through the likes of the city deals on websites and stuff like that. So we've actually grown our numbers by about 300% in the last 2 years.
And how many divers are diving in Ireland at the moment?
I'm not sure in general how many. I know in our club ourselves, our current numbers is running at about 130, 140. So that's adults and children.
And for such a minority sport, we seem to be doing exceptionally well within Europe.
We do. We have wonderful talent here. We have Dave Linehan, who this year, or just at the end of last year, won a silver and a bronze medal at the Masters World Championships in Gothenburg. And you can see behind us actually Vlada. Vlada is the current European champion on the 1 metre and 3 metre springboard. So these two people are within the diving club, they're our main coaches. So you can imagine they have wonderful skills to pass on to all our little smallies coming through.
And what are you doing from grassroots level up to develop the sport?
Well, we have a lot of programs in place, the long-term athlete development plans, and it takes into account all abilities. So we have classes for children who just want to do it for fun, get fit, it's great for attention, that kind of stuff. Or we have children now that are already part of our competition squad who are only 7 and 8 years of age, and they're tiny. They look like they're just about to keel over when they're on the end of the boards. But, we've a comprehensive program in place for all abilities, whatever they want to achieve.
Yeah, you seem to have absolutely fabulous facilities here.
Yeah. Well, the National Aquatic Centre is the only Olympic standard diving pool in Ireland, but on a European scale, it is actually considered one of the better facilities. The pool is 5 metres deep. It has a movable floor, and you have 2 1 metre, 2 3 metre springboards, and then you have the 3, 5, 7.5, and the 10 metre platform.
So the future of diving looks to be really, really bright in Ireland.
It definitely is. It definitely is. If the interest is anything to go by, and the amount of smallies we have coming through the door, it's magic. And in addition to that, then we have a really thriving masters, what we call masters section, which is adult beginners. And at the moment we have about 60 adults who are diving, and not at a competition level. They wouldn't have any background in diving, but they love it. It's great to keep their head free of, rubbish during the day, whatever. It's good.
Dave, you're one of the top divers here in Ireland. Can you tell me about the different disciplines within diving?
Well, with diving you have 2 main types of diving. So you have springboard and platform. So the springboards you might see in the background there are the more flexible boards, and then the platforms go all the way up to 10 metres, and they're the rigid concrete structures. So that's the main types. There are lots of different kind of dives that you can do, both from springboard and platform. We'd start off when we're teaching people maybe going with forward dives, backward dives. They'd be the basic ones, and then you move on to the more advanced ones. So you'd be doing your inward dives, which is when you jump backwards but dive forwards, and your reverse dives where you jump forwards and dive backwards. So it's kind of complicated for people to get the hang of initially. You've twisting dives as well. So that's when, as well as rotating forwards or backwards, you're also twisting at the same time. And then the extra category that you have on platform is handstand dives. So you'd start the dive on the platform holding a handstand for maybe 3 seconds, and then jumping into a dive from there. So they're the main dives.
Wow, it sounds really complicated. Now, do you have to specialise in a few different types of dives, or do you have to be flexible and dynamic and be able to do them all?
Well, as part of competitions, there's a requirement that you complete a certain number of dives from each category. So you kind of have to focus on everything. I guess what you try to do, you would see where your natural aptitudes lie, and with those dives you'd probably try to do your more difficult dives where your strengths are, and then you still have to fulfill the requirements of the competition. So you kind of need to cover all bases, really.
You're a fantastic gymnast as well. You're in acrobatics and tumbling. Does that help you with the diving?
Yeah, that's definitely, starting off anyway, it was a big advantage to me to have the gymnastic background. I specialised in tumbling when I was younger, and it was just, I had a bad ankle injury, and when I finished college, I couldn't really keep up the gymnastics, but I kind of wanted something different to do to keep me fit, and the diving was perfect because it meant that I could use the gymnastic skills that I had developed as a kid, and yet I could keep my fitness. It was stimulating, challenging, and I just had to get used to landing upside down was the main thing. I'm so used to landing on my feet.
So what's coming up for you competition-wise in the near future?
At the moment, I'm kind of concentrating on the coaching, so I'm taking a year out of competition, but I'm hoping to get back into things next year. So the World Masters is every second year, so I competed in that last year, so hopefully next year again I'll be up there aiming to bring back a gold this time.
Well, I hope you enjoy getting a look behind the scenes at the diving here at the National Aquatic Centre. If you'd like some more information, check out dublindiving.ie.
And if there's any sporting event happening in your area that you would like Sinead to be popping along to, then make sure you drop us an email, theeveningshow@city.ie. Well, that's your lot for tonight. Tomorrow is a very special evening here on The Evening Show because Keith Barry will be joining me in studio, and the last time he was on, he wowed us with crazy illusions, and no doubt tomorrow will be no different. And we'll also be taking a look at the Indian Film Festival. That's coming up tomorrow at 7, repeated at 9. See you then. Bye-bye.